taking a long time. Oh, there we go. Hello, welcome. We're super excited today. We are going to talk about mental health, which is a very important topic in all of our lives, right? And my name is Amy Parson. I am a health coach. I love to help people improve their health through especially their gut health, but through supplements and other natural ways.
And I'm Mary Beasley, and I am an herbalist and an aromatherapist. My business is Your Family Herbalist, and I love helping people learn about herbs and essential oils and how they can use those to promote their well-being and health within their home as individuals and as families.
Awesome. So today, we live in a stressful world, right? And the last few years have been extremely stressful, and I think they've taken a greater toll on all of us and our own mental health. Just as a disclaimer, we are not, none of the information we share is intended to treat, prescribe, diagnose, or any disease. So please consult your physician, also for further information or what you need. So I want to read you. So this is actually from WebMD. This is kind of their just little description. It says, sorry, I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between the screen. And we're on my phone today, so it's a little bit weird, not what we normally do. It says, so this is WebMD, any disorder that affects mood, thinking, and behavior can be described as a mental health problem. And of course, there's, different ways to address those problems. And we are in no way saying that, take all these supplements and you'll be cured or anything like that. But I do believe that your body is deficient in a lot of things that can affect, our own mental health. So I just want to talk about a few of those. Some of them you're probably familiar with. So I want to start with one that probably everyone has talked about before, and that's vitamin D3, right? That's the one we get from the sun. But it's just important that we supplement as well. It's really important for seasonal affective disorder. And so we actually have a great vitamin D3 spray at Youngevity that's really fantastic. So, I always harp on this, but liquids are king. Liquid supplements are king. So they trump everything else. Or maybe we should say queen. They're the queen. Queen's trump. So a spray can be really absorbable and really quickly absorbed. Also, vitamin C is really important. Vitamin C helps us to lower cortisol. And it's, I don't think we get enough of it. And then our essential fatty acids, especially omega-3s, are super important. They have a really strong relationship with your cognitive function, which, obviously has a great impact on our mental health. They help to regulate neurotransmitters, which help reduce your levels of anxiety. That's all I'm going to say about that. So lastly, I just want to talk about, well, there's a bunch more, right? Vitamin Bs are really important too. But the last one that I want to talk about is selenium. And we talk about selenium a lot because selenium is so great for so many things. And it's really just important for our bodies to have enough. It helps to improve your mood by reducing inflammation in your body, which when you're stressed, your inflammation rises, right? So selenium, super important to keep a constant level. That's the other thing that we always harp on is cofactors, right? You can get some benefit from getting just one individual vitamin or supplement. And I don't disagree with that. Like you can absolutely get some benefit from taking just vitamin C or, upping certain ones. But every vitamin and every mineral has a cofactor that helps you absorb. And so if you don't have all of the cofactors together, then you're just not going to get as much benefit. So, and well, I didn't say this. This was actually probably the number one thing I should have said. But our basis is 90 for life, right? Those 90 essential nutrients that you need every day that include all the cofactors, that include amino acids, that include even some prebiotics and things like that. They come in 3 different products that are so easy to take, and they're so crucial for our health. And that's the basis of everything. That's the basis of what your body needs every day and is going to scan for every day. Okay, that's enough of that. Mary, your turn.
All right. You didn't say what May is, right? The month of May?
No, I didn't. Go ahead.
So we picked this topic because we saw that the month of May is that's great. Is National Mental Health Awareness Month, right? That's how it was worded. And so you may see on social media a lot of people posting about mental health, but it is such an important topic right now. And as you know, if you've been on our lives, we talk about supplements, we talk about nutrition. And this is a book I have shared on here before, How Not to Die, that I absolutely love. And Dr. Greger is really big into eating right. And so he has a whole chapter on how not to die from suicidal depression. And I'm sorry, I'm going to read a bit of this, but I thought it was, there were some great things in here. He says, here's a statistic that you probably have never heard. Higher consumption of vegetables may cut the odds of developing depression by as much as 62%. That's really high.
It is really high.
Really, really high and amazing. Like that's something easy we can just do is add vegetables and fruits, right? Yeah. He says a review in the journal Nutritional Neuroscience concluded that in general, eating lots of fruits and veggies may present a non-invasive, natural, and inexpensive therapeutic means to support a healthy brain. And so this whole chapter, he talks about those things that are going to help. But he first goes through with depression and why someone may be struggling with depression. And we've all heard it's a chemical imbalance. And it's called the monoamine theory. And I just wanted to go through this and hopefully I can explain it right. I'm gonna so that you understand. But, we have these neurotransmitters where the nerve cells aren't actually touching. It's the neurotransmitters that are going back and forth that bridge the gap between them. And there's some very important neurotransmitters that are called monoamines, which include, and you've heard these before, serotonin and dopamine. Okay, so these neurotransmitters are then controlled by an enzyme called monoamine oxidase, or MAO. And it's that enzyme, people who are depressed tend to have elevated levels of that enzyme. That's then controlling those neurotransmitters and not letting them go up when needed. So antidepressant medications were developed to try to boost the levels of neurotransmitters to balance out that enzyme. And that brings up the question, well, why isn't there just a medication that can help block the enzyme? Well, those medications that do exist are extremely high risk, have serious risks, and aren't worth it to use. So then they're just using the antidepressants that are boosting the neurotransmitters. But so then I really like how he words some of the things in his book. He says, if only there were a way to tamp down the monoamine oxidase enzyme safely. Well, it turns out that many plant foods, including apples, berries, grapes, onions, and green tea, contain phytonutrients that appear to naturally inhibit the MAO, as do much spices as cloves, oregano, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Love that word. This may help explain why those eating plant-rich diets have lower rates of depression. So he says studies have shown that even on a day-to-day basis, if you eat more fruits and veggies, you tend to be happier, calmer, and more energetic during the day. And I thought that is just amazing. And it makes me want to eat better right there. But then later, he talks about Prozac, which is one of the main antidepressant drugs that is prescribed for people, the treatment of clinical depression, and how saffron, okay, let me just read some of this. Saffron was one of the earliest spices ever used for healing over 3,600 years ago. And a few thousand years later, after it was first used, they put saffron to the test in a head-to-head trial against Prozac. Both the spice and the drug worked equally well in reducing depression symptoms. I thought that was amazing that saffron could go head-to-head and work as equally well. Well, this ends up being the one the one herb, the one spice that is more expensive than the actual drug. It would cost a Prozac equivalent dose of saffron may cost more than twice the drug. So it cost effectiveness, it's not worth it. But they ended up doing then studies on just smelling the saffron and found that even just smelling it had psychological benefits and could help with depression. So if you know me, as an aromatherapist, we love essential oils, and I love just the therapy part of it, just smelling. You don't even have to put them on. So just like saffron can help, so can lots of other essential oils. And when I'm working with someone that might be struggling with feeling down and sad all the time, I love recommending specifically citrus oils. Citrus essential oils are so uplifting and light. And my favorites are grapefruit and lemon and orange, sweet orange. Those three tend to be my favorite. But here's a list of several oils, and several of these are citrus, but several aren't, that may help someone. Just smelling them, you could diffuse them, you could put them in a cotton ball and just leave them around your house everywhere. There's so many different ways that you could use essential oils just to help lift your mood, or maybe someone in your home, in your family, and where it's an easy way without them feeling like you're in their personal space putting oil on them or something. So this is a list: bergamot, frankincense, rosemary, orange, cumin, Roman chamomile, spikenard, vetiver, thyme, thymol. And then we have several blends in our company as well: heaven scent, earth scent, to be at peace, balance of life. Balance of life is one of my favorite blends. Wildflower, I love that one too. The smell is fabulous. Surrender.
Why is balance of life one of your favorites?
All heart. I just love this. Well, I don't love the smell of it necessarily, but I love the effects of it after I put it on. I feel balanced, like it's balance of life. And so anytime I feel just overwhelmed or feel like my priorities off, or, I'll just pull that out and just put it quickly on my wrists or smell it. And I just feel like it grounds me and pulls me back and really helps me move forward instead of being overwhelmed. So that's definitely one of my favorites. And the wildflower is a really good one for females specifically. But it's a very uplifting fragrance. It's fabulous as well. Those two are my favorite blends. So, but if you don't have any of those oils, try what you have. If it's not, like, don't go for lavender necessarily unless you're high stress and you need to calm and relax that way to uplift your mood. You want to kind of look and see, what am I doing? Is it the beginning of the day? Do I want something that's going to give me more energy and uplift me that way? Then go with your mints, your spearmint, your peppermint, your citrus. Your citrus can also be a little calming too in other ways. So you just kind of want to look and see what those oils are focused on and what you really need to help lift your mood. And try it out, whatever you have.
I also want to say about, just in general, about oils. So a couple weeks ago, Mary talked about the children's blend kit and the roller bottles that they have in the children's blend kit. They have 7 different ones, and I bought it, and I just, for the first time, and I pulled it out. So I think I got it last week, and I showed my youngest 2 kids, so a 7-year-old and a 12-year-old. And I showed them the little chart. There's a little chart that says, the oils and then some things that they help with, and just like little dots of which ones help with what. So my son, I'm guessing it's eczema. I don't actually know what it is, but sometimes, like, on the backs of his legs, he got it really bad once, where he just had like a rash on the back of his legs. And then he said his armpit was like bugging him. And so this is a 7-year-old. So I pulled those out and I put neroli, and I can't remember, I put a couple different ones on, but neroli and maybe like frankincense and lavender, I think it was the other one. Anyway, it like super inflamed it for a little while, and he was like, it hurts, it hurts. But once he calmed down the next morning, like, it was like so much better. It wasn't red at all. I could still tell, like I've still put some on him. Well, I forgot to do it last night. I was gone when he went to bed. Otherwise, I would have done it when he went to bed. But I did it this morning before he went to school. Anyway, I just want to say the kids have been so excited about like reading the little chart. And like Haley was like, "Can I buy my own?" And I'm like, "Well, if you have if you have $50, you can buy your own." But she's been using them. Like she gets kind of weird skin around her nose and she picks at it and stuff. So she's been using them, and I love that they can just pick it up and like stick it on. Like there's to me they feel even more accessible than the little bottles that are concentrated. So I'm like, I think I need to get myself some more roller bottles because I think maybe I will use the roller bottles more. Anyway, so there you go. That's
Awesome.
all. So thanks for watching. I hope everyone's having a health empowered day. I hope you're having a great day and that you're feeling good and your mental health is doing well. So let us know if you have any questions or you need anything, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye.